All right. Welcome, my beautiful friends. So excited for today. It is the full moon, and this full moon is in Aries. I'm going to talk a little bit about that for anybody who's interested in astrology, and leave a comment if you have any questions as I share a little bit about astrology, because it's an interesting thing. Every full moon, every new moon, every day of the year, we're always being influenced by the planets and the different positioning that they have in relation to us. So this full moon is in Aries, and it influences both Aries and Libra. So right now we're actually in the sign of Libra. October is a sign of Libra. So if you start to understand how the universe works, after a while you realize whenever there's one point where we are, it's the opposite point, the point exactly on the other side of the chart that is also kind of influencing our energy. So in Libra, which is October, we are being influenced by Aries. So Aries is it's ruled by Mars. Just think of it like this. It's the first house in the whole chart. So it's the leader energy. It's the element of that is fire. So if you've been feeling, some people say you might feel like a little more aggro or like a little more aggressive or frustratable. I haven't been feeling those actually, but I think it's because honestly, that the moon is being joined by Chiron. So Chiron brings the element of healing. And Chiron in the astrology is actually kind of known as the shaman planet. It's not really a planet, actually. It's like an asteroid situation. But anyway, it's very important to understand Chiron in your chart. One thing that I've learned about astrology over many years of studying is that once you understand how all of these influence you and influence your relationship to the world and to other people, you can start to feel more at peace, I would say, because you're like, oh, okay, I can see why this person is that way because of this. For example, I had a boyfriend. He had Chiron directly next to his sun when he was born. And I always wondered why he didn't have the confidence that I thought he should. He was so beautiful. He was like this amazing, like Adonis god of a man, but he had like zero confidence for some reason. Like Ford models wanted him to model for them, and he's like, nah. Like he just didn't want to put himself out there. And I just was like, what's going on with this guy? He just never got over it. And you know me, I'm the eternal motivator. I'm like the cheerleader. Like, you got so much talent. Why don't you put it out there? And he was just like, I'm very content kiteboarding and doing my life. So I was like, okay, whatever. And we didn't end up lasting. But the point is, after I found out that he had Chiron next to his sun, it made a lot more sense. So what Chiron does is it's what they call the wounded healer. Sometimes they actually call it the wound that never heals. I don't really like that description because I believe you can heal anything. So what happens is, once you understand where Chiron is in relation to your sun and your planets and all that, you can see where your deep wound is. And the nice thing about that is, once you understand what that is, the gift of the universe, like God created everything in divine and perfect order, literally. So whenever we find out what our deepest wound is, once we learn how to heal that, that's actually becomes a huge part of our purpose, right? So it's like, I can see why I got this like difficult situation that I was born with, and then how I learned how to heal that, became the master of that, and then went on to heal millions of others and create a beautiful life for myself. So if anybody here is interested in astrology, I can go into more information about that. And you guys leave a comment if you have questions about that. But today's session is not really about that. I wanted to go a little bit more into the full moon. We're going to do a ceremony. We're going to do some sound healing with the sound bowls. I have 2 different crystal bowls, and we'll talk a little bit about the difference of the energy of those. And we'll do some mantras, a little bit of breath work, and a beautiful guided meditation. One of the most requested guided meditations that I've been getting lately is how to visualize your best case scenario, or how to visualize your dream life. Leave a comment or feel free to unmute yourself if that's something that you would like to learn, because I believe I was kind of blessed with this at birth, because I was born with like an overactive third eye, I think. I'm a very upper chakra person. So my root chakra has been my challenge. But this is easy for me. So I've been always very imaginative. I can see into the future. I can see things, visualizing. It's very easy for me. But not everybody is that way. Some people are more, let's say, auditory. So maybe you're musical, or maybe you're more kinesthetic. So you're physical, like maybe you have great talents in other ways. Like maybe you're a great writer, who knows? But anyway, if you feel that visualizing is not your strength, leave a comment and let me know. But that's what we're going to do today, is do a guided visualization meditation that will help you to strengthen your third eye and connect to the vision of your dream future, right? So every spiritual teacher is always emphasizing the importance of being here in the present, being in the now, which I am going to say we should always do that as well. But if you're going to focus on the past or the future, definitely focusing on the future is a better option, right? So like whenever we focus on the past, we stay stuck, and actually sometimes we start to like decline, right? So we're not growing so much. Now, if you focus on the past in a constructive way, like you're looking at the past and you're growing from that and you're learning from that, then that's a positive. And on that note, I just want to mention it's 11:11, so we're going to do a quick, beautiful prayer for the world. Let's join together. This is a ritual that I do every 11:11. And we just want to send a prayer of loving, healing energy. So just fill your heart with the feeling of love. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, put your hands like this and just imagine you're sending that love out to all beings in the world, all the families, every child, every parent, every animal, even Mother Earth, all the beings on the planet, just feeling the energy of your love coming from your heart to their heart, and that they know that they are cared for, and that there are people on the other side of the world perhaps that are sending them love, and that they're never alone, and that they will have all of their needs and desires provided for them, and that in this lifetime, whatever difficulties and challenges that their circumstances have presented for them, that they have the opportunity to rise out of that with the help and the support of the divine and other beings on earth, such as yourselves. So we send this love to all beings, and so it is, and so it is. Aho Ashe, Amen. And now we're back. Let's see. We had Madison say, I can definitely use some help with seeing during visualizations. Certainly more auditory and musical. Oh, beautiful. Jamie, 11:11. Yay. Valerie, I could have a bit more confidence in my third eye. Okay, good. Okay, so we have the confirmation that people would like to learn this. You know, at the end of the day, these are all important things, right? So we're like learning how to strengthen each of our chakras through the flow state training, right? So we have all these different practices. A lot of the physical asanas are really good for the lower chakras because they get you into your body, grounded into the physical and into the earth, and that's super important. And then these meditations that we do, these are more in the upper chakras generally. Although I do have a lot of really good meditations that I can share for the lower chakras as well. But today we're focusing on third eye. Let's see. Justine said, I would say that I have a similar experience where my root chakra is my challenge. You know, I will say most spiritual people have this issue. So it's not just like you or me or anything. It's just generally people that gravitate towards a spiritual path tends to be, not always, but tends to be, it's because they're more upper chakra, right? They want to connect to the divine. It feels like a good path. It feels like natural and like a, you know, like there's this inner desire for that. Whereas usually what they say, what you resist persists. Like the part of you that you don't really like to work on, let's say, i.e. root chakra, is the part that you probably need to work on the most, right? So we can work on that a little bit today too if you guys want to. And it's nice too because you can kind of see how they connect. Actually, the third eye is connected to the second chakra, sacral chakra. So your sacral chakra, and today, since you're on the teacher training, everybody who's joining us, you're getting a little bit of a chakra tutorial as well. But the sacral chakra, which is your second chakra, is directly connected to your finances, pleasure, playfulness, creativity, and sexuality. So if you have any issues in any of those things, and all of those are also very deeply connected to relationships. So relationships are in the second chakra, and third eye, right, is like your connection to your vision of life. And like, so those two work together, right? So if you can visualize what you want those energies of your life to be like, and then bring that energy into a tangible feeling and draw it down into your sacral, we can kind of marry the two and then work on them both together. So that's what we'll do today. Let's see. Justine says, my rising is Gemini. I'm very much air. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I have 2 planets in Gemini. I have Mercury and Mars. Let's see. Katie says, I think I'm in that category too. Lower chakras are probably my issue. Well, it's great once you at least identify what you need to work on, right? In my book, Journey to Joyful, if you've read it already, you probably noticed there's a chakra quiz at the end. It's not just a chakra quiz, it's kind of like it teaches you where you need to strengthen. So it has this quiz, and then once you realize, oh yeah, I'm like kind of like really good on these questions, and then these ones I'm like, no. Then you start to realize, okay, I need to work on that. When I learned about chakras when I was first starting out as a yoga teacher, it changed my life because it starts to change your relationship into how you see everything, right? Even like this, when you see somebody is, let's say, very much a root chakra person, they, for example, are generally pretty good in money, right? They're stable, their home is like super important, grounded into like physicality and material world stuff. But then like the upper chakras are generally the weaker for those types of people. So let's say they don't really have any real relationship to the divine, or they don't do a meditation practice, and they have a lot of chaos in their mind. So it's like everybody has their area to work on. So we don't discriminate or even judge it. We just say, okay, that's what it is. We need to work on that. Let's see. Madison said, Gemini moon, Aquarius rising, Gemini, Mercury, and Libra, Mars. Very airy. Thank God my Capricorn moon. Yeah, it's good when you know your chart. That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, it's like an interesting thing because then you say, okay, I'm very airy, which is good. It's not a bad thing. Airy is like creativity, expansiveness, like very light, but then like the root energy need to be strengthened. And what I learned is that's why I love teaching yoga. I have to be honest. When I started as a yoga teacher 17 years ago, and even before that, because I was always doing yoga even as a kid, and I was an athlete. So I was always in the physical through my sports and stuff. And it was like the one thing that always kept me sane, right? It like literally, I would say like saved my life in so many occasions because it made me stay in my body. When if you're a very spiritual person, you tend to leave your body. And then you're just like out there in the ethers, like connecting to God and everything. And it's like, when you're so up there, you're kind of like, what's the point of any of this? Like, why do I even want to be on this planet? Like, this planet is a mess anyway. Why did I choose this? And you can go through this whole, like, crisis about that. Like, I actually went through that for many years. In fact, not just like, why did I choose this planet? But, like, also kind of detaching from the things on the planet that are kind of part of being a fully embodied spiritual being on this planet in a human body, right? So like, for example, getting married or any of those things. Like, I'm already 41. I know I look young, but I never got married or had children or any of those like very normal things yet, because I was more like, yeah, I'm traveling the world and I was loving my life. So I was like, what's the point? Why would I want anything else? Now I started to really like feel like, okay, I'm going to start grounding into my root chakra even more. So that's where I've been actually focusing, and I've been very, very happy about it. I've moved into a house instead of living on the beach because I feel like just being around trees, all of that is helpful. Anyway, we can talk more about that in a minute. On we go. So as we explore where we are with this full moon, we have an Aries full moon. So it means that the moon is in Aries, and then Chiron is also next to that. Okay, so then on the other side, which is Libra, we have the Sun and Venus. So it's a very beautiful energy, honestly. The Sun and Venus. So the Sun is like the shining light, and the Venus is love and beauty. So we have Venus and the Sun together, which is really, really nice. In Libra, and Libra is in the sign of Venus. So Venus is exalted right now, which is a beautiful time for loving connection, for your relationships, for yourself. If you're not in a relationship, give that love to yourself. And that's what we're going to do today. Okay, so, and then on the other side is the Chiron. So that's what I was saying, like it might bring up any wounds. Leave a comment if any of you have experienced, and you don't have to, share the details if you don't want to, but if you want to, you can. If any of you have experienced any like deep wounds coming up during this specific time, because actually what's coming up next is the eclipse. So the eclipse is going to be coming up, I think it's on the 25th of this month. So that's like in 2 weeks, we have an eclipse. And then anytime we have an eclipse, we have 2 eclipses. So the eclipse energy is really tough sometimes. And if you have the planetary alignments that it affects you, this eclipse is in Scorpio, I believe. So that energy is going to affect people that have the Scorpio. And you might feel it where it's like if anything in your life is out of alignment, it literally like smashes you until you let it go. That's what I feel like the way to describe an eclipse. Now, not everybody experiences that. Some people are like, everything's like normal for me. Well, usually if like everything's normal for you, it usually means that your planets are not really directly affected by the signs that the eclipse is currently like aligning with. And then maybe it's like not so bad. So pray that that's the case for all of you. And so it is. For me, the Scorpio is in the 10th house. So 10th house is a house of your career. So hopefully nothing big happens. But anyway, I feel like I'm in alignment, so it's all good. Let's see, Jamie says, Scorpio here. Oh, you're a Scorpio. Each October season is a big deep dive before my birthday. Rebirth in November. I've learned to embrace it each season. That's a great approach, Jamie. I love this. This is the way to do it, honestly, because once you understand, okay, this is the season that I'm always going through this situation of like something big shifting, then you go, all right, so I just accept that's the cycle of my growth process, and that the universe aligned these energies at this time of year. For example, it could be multiple times per year, perhaps even, but that it aligns it so that you can catalyze massive growth, let go of whatever is not serving you, shed the misalignments rapidly, and move forward with a new alignment and a higher vibration. That is what seems to happen with me. I don't know if it's like that for all of you. Let's see. Justine says, this full moon energy feels like a leftover from Mercury retrograde that just passed, feeling to heal. That's a good way to think of it. I guess it kind of did, because there is a little bit of this communication stuff a little bit still. Jamie says, cry it out, baby. Phoenix it out. See, that's a good way to look at it. Actually, I have a picture. I wish I had it here with me, but it's over there. But it's a picture of a phoenix that I bought, and it's such a good thing if you get this imagery on your altar or something. You can really see, because the energy of the phoenix is so powerful. It's like this like bird, like flames of fire coming off of this bird as it's rising out of the ashes. This is the energy we're talking about when you let things go and you literally truly let it go, and it dies, and then it's like buried, and you're like, that's no longer a part of my life, my path, moving forward, that's not who I am. And you just let it die and love it and forgive it, but don't let it back in. These are the important boundary energies that you need to do in order to rise to the next level. So this is like the cycle of birth and death. And in yoga, in the tradition of yoga, they actually have the god Shiva. Shiva is the energy of that. This is like birth and death energy. So if you ever hear any like Om Namah Shivaya mantra, this is like the energy of that. Also, there's another one, Shambho. I have those in my playlist. If you have any of my playlists from Spotify, you can listen to those mantras. And at the live teacher training, we always chant those mantras together. It's very powerful energy to chant Shiva mantras and also the Shambho mantras in order to let go of what needs to die and embrace and welcome in the new that is being born in your life. Let's see. Madison says, Tons of wounds and triggers and addictions have been coming up. Uncomfortable patterns I've been working on for years and feeling so refreshed and uncomfortable. But loving that idea of being able to really release these things has been tough for sure, like entirely throughout the last 2 weeks since the new moon. Wow, great job. I'm proud of you. Regressed. Oh, okay. Flora's here. Let's see. Clarissa says, thank you for sharing, Madison. That's powerful, powerful medicine. Interesting. Most of my big career shifts have all happened in October. That's a nice thing. You can start to see the patterns of things. Like I always noticed, like I have my birthday in July, but it's weird. Like a lot of times July wasn't the best timing for my birthday, apparently, because I would have like a lot of sort of difficulties around the time of my birthday. And I was like, man, everybody else is like, yeah, birthday celebration. And I'm usually like, okay, I just want to be alone. So, when you start to see what times of year that are more, introspective for you and what times of year are more like celebratory and what times are better for career, you can really understand this by looking at your chart. Madison says, I'm going to have a full moon burning and releasing bonfire. I want to let these unhealthy patterns go. Amazing. Yes. I'm ready to be a phoenix for like the 10th time in the past 4 years. Thank God for the phases of the moon. Yes. Yeah. And I just want to mention that because it never ends. Like it's never ending. Like even if you see, for example, who here, leave a comment if you follow Sadhguru, because he's, I love him, and, I work with him a little bit as well and stuff, but like, he is like 65, and he still is chanting the Shiva mantras. It doesn't mean that he's got like the worst things going on in his life, but, like ultimately, it's a lifelong thing because birth and death, baby. You know what I mean? It's always going to be there. It never goes away. And so when we embrace it and we realize, okay, it's kind of like being a woman, for example, since we're all women in this community mostly, that you have your menstrual cycle every month, and that's also a time of this shedding. Like the menstrual cycle is when you literally, like, your body sheds a whole layer and releases it, right? And at that point it would be, preparing for pregnancy if that was the intention, but otherwise it would just be like shedding that every month. So think about it: birth and death, releasing the old and creating the new, and then after it sheds that, it creates new cells and all of these beautiful things. So, and we never look at that like we're like, oh, death, but you could see it as this releasing, and the energy around releasing can seem like death. I think we have to form a new relationship to the energy of what we call death, because death is not what we've made it out to be. In humanity, I don't know why, we made death like this sad, horrible thing, but it's actually just a transition to a different phase. Every case of life, it's that way. Like a tree. When the tree's leaves turn brown and fall off, it's literally like death of the leaf. But it's not like nobody's sitting there like crying and having like a ceremony around the death of these leaves. Instead, we're like, wow, how beautiful, right? So we can take that same perspective and apply it to every other kind of death that we have in our life, whether it's like releasing an old relationship. That's one of the biggest ones. And in fact, October is all about relationships, like I said, because Libra is a sign of it's like the scales and balance and harmony and finding beauty in our relationships. So if you see a relationship transitioning from an old form, maybe it was a form that you wished it could have been, like for example, maybe it was a romantic relationship, didn't really work out that way, you got the intuition it's not meant to be with that person, and so you decided, instead of like losing this person from your life, that maybe you can just transmute that energy into friendship and maybe even work with them or something, and that the relationship dynamic can change into something different, and you can and so it doesn't have to die in the sense of it's gone forever, but like it transitioned into a new form. I love that kind of death and rebirth, because to me, if you love someone and you really do want them in your life, I think it's so nice to be able to find a new way to relate together instead of losing them forever, right? Does that make sense? Do any of you do that? Because for me, almost all of my exes are my friends. Like, people think that's weird, but I think it's wonderful. Like, I loved them when we were together, and for whatever reason we knew we weren't meant to stay together, but why not stay connected? And if we had other ways that we could relate to each other, it's a very mature and advanced soul that can move on from your intimate sexual relationship and look at each other as souls and be like, I love you no matter what. And that's the best feeling. So that's something I encourage for any of you who are transitioning out of a old dynamic. Now, if they were abusive or violent or just like toxic, then no. You just say like, peace, and let them go. Floor, welcome Floor, darling. Let's see, Jamie says he's my guru too. Oh yeah, I love him. Yeah, they invited me. He's doing like a big event this month, but I have so many things going on. Plus I have all these little puppies and I can't really like leave them. They're like my full-time babies. They're actually just learning how to eat now, so I'm feeding them with a spoon, this like baby porridge. Anyway, okay, Jamie says, oh, I wanted to ask you about yoga with menses. Glad this came up. Is if it's safe to practice if it's uncomfortable and tiring. I call it my blood moon. Yeah, a lot of people call it the moon cycle. Okay, so that's a great question. And, you know, for women especially, and also as a yoga teacher, you need to know this. So I will cover it really quick, especially because around the full moon generally is a time when a lot of people do get their moon cycle. It depends. Like I get mine sometimes on different times of the month. But anyway, a lot of times full moon. So one thing that I will say is that some traditions say that you should not practice at all the whole week. Now, I don't really buy into that. I think that you should not practice vigorously if it's not comfortable, and you shouldn't do inversions, which is when your feet are above your head. And the reason for this is because one of my friends who has been teaching yoga over 25 years, she told me that she got endometriosis from doing handstands during her period. So why would that happen? Okay, so your body during the moon cycle is wanting to flush and release these old cells and layers in the blood and everything, and it needs to go down, right? The gravity takes it down that way to get it out. Now if you flip yourself upside down, you're taking that blood that needs to get out and jamming it back in the wrong way, right? So it can get like problematic if you do it too much. I don't know like if there's like any research about that, science. I don't think they've put millions of dollars of research behind this topic, but real life experiences of people that I know who got endometriosis led me to feel it's better to be cautious than to do things that could damage you permanently or your students. So I always encourage no inversions, which can include shoulder stand, headstand, handstand, even downward dog and like forward bend. Those are partial inversions where your head is below your hips. So you got to be cautious a little bit with those partial inversions, but definitely the full inversions, I would avoid it for this, at least for the first 3 days when it's the heavy time. And what I encourage during your moon cycle instead is what we call yin yoga. So yin yoga is where you relax more. It's the feminine energy. Anyway, it's what you need. It's just be in the poses for longer and breathe and be with yourself and stretch and relax and let the earth hold you and feel connected to the stability of that energy and feel connected to the divine loving energy of Mother Earth. That's what I do. And, you know, you can do a little bit of flow in there. You don't have to be like totally just like laying there for a week, but, you know, depending on how you feel. Like, what's her name? Jamie is saying she feels tired and uncomfortable. So in that case, absolutely don't move around a lot if you're feeling tired and uncomfortable in a lot of flowing. So I would just do maybe like 1 or 2 very slow rounds of sun salutations, maybe 3, and then do some very deep, long yin yoga stretching and let it be about self-care and take a bath. Or, you know, what I like to do, I have a lot of self-care routines, you guys might have noticed, but, you know, you can do like some of the breathing practices, some of the kriyas. Those are all very great because they're not going to affect you in the same way as asana practice would. You can also do some movement in the form of dancing, or, you know, just like focusing more on your meditation during that time, and relax. Let yourself receive the love and the beauty around you, and just know that all the doing and the pushing yourself isn't necessary hardly ever, but especially during that time. Does that help you, Jamie? I hope that answers your question. The other thing that I want to say is, as a yoga teacher, for all of you who are in the yoga teacher training group, that you want to caution, you want to mention that to your students, and mention that. Say, if anybody's pregnant or menstruating, we don't do inversions during that, and you want to take it easy, listen to yourself. Just be very, very specific about that. Medicine. Yes, Dasha, I completely agree about the many soulmates and loving them always. I do the same. Oh, that's beautiful. Jamie absolutely does. Thank you. More helps me confirm that it's okay. Oh, good. By the way, you guys, I have to leave exactly at 12 Eastern. So we're going to start our ceremony now. And I want to mention, before we do the sound bowl, if you have your journal here, get it out really quick. I always love journaling. I've been a journaler my entire life. Like, who here is a journaler, like, to the core, right? So what it does, it helps so much, is it helps you to get these thoughts out of your head and onto the paper. And the more you do that, that is like step one of manifesting, right? Because think about it. Now it's physical, it's tangible, it's written down. That doesn't mean like 100% of the things you write down will happen, but I have seen in my experience that like 90% of the things that you write down eventually do happen. And it's like, because the universe, you're literally telling the universe, like, you're writing an order to the universe. You're like, this is what I want, this is what's happening. Now, if you're journaling just to like share all the crazy stuff in your life, that's okay too, because you need to get it out of your head and put it into paper, and then it will clear your head. And then that's important, because you need to have a clear space there. Now, what I like to do, you can do this around new moon and full moon, but like full moon is a good time to really celebrate your wins. Instead of focusing all the things like what I want, how about focusing on the feeling of gratitude for what you have? And like I've been sharing with you guys recently, which is feeling the fruition already. And I want you to really practice this. This is literally like one of the number one practices that you should, if you don't learn anything else from me, do this one thing, which is feeling the fruition of what you're calling in or desiring or whatever. Feel the gratitude for it already. Just be like, I'm so grateful. And what I said, like, I always use my affirmation that I shared with you guys many times, but it's, I'm so happy and grateful it all worked out beyond my wildest dreams. Say this out loud with me before we continue. I just want you to feel that. But don't just say it like, oh, I'm so happy, but feel it. I want you to feel it. And if you need to, or if you want to, put one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, feel it. And just be like, take a deep breath into your heart, into your belly, hold the breath. And then as you exhale, say it out loud. I'm so, with a smile, happy and grateful. It all worked out beyond my wildest dream. And so it is, and so it is. Who here feels that when you do it? You really feel it? Now, here's the nice thing. You don't have to put any specifics with that. It's just like everything. You're like, I'm just putting this about everything. I don't need to be specific. Everything is working out beyond my wildest dreams. What do I need to be specific about? I got 4 puppies. I thought I was only going to have 1. So what happened? I got 5 now. It's amazing. Beyond my wildest dreams. Whatever. You know what I mean? Just like simple things. Like, I got this really cool house. Like, I'm so stoked about this house. Someone else might be like, oh, it's not that great. I think it's the best house ever. It's like so cool. It has so much trees and nature. But, you know, ultimately, it's all just independent. Like, what do you think is the best thing for you? But it doesn't matter the specifics. But when you want to get specific, that's where the journaling comes in. So let's take a moment to write down. We'll just do a few together, and then you can do this on your own. Continue it later. So we don't have that much time to be able to do it all together. Let's see. Jamie says, amen to journaling. Even before I could read and write, I'd carry a book and pen around me. Oh, that's so cute. Yes. Okay, so we are same there, baby. Okay, so just write down in your journal. Now, I usually put the date at the top. It's October 9th. And just write full moon, I would say 5 things that you're going to meditate on this day, today, because it's the full moon, that are like, I'm so grateful it all worked out beyond my wildest dreams. Like that thing that you're thinking of when you say that, that's the thing that you're going to write down. Whatever it is. It's different for every one of you, for all of us, you know? So just 5 things, and then you can continue this list later. And then we're going to do our meditation. We're going to anchor it in. Let's do it. I'm going to put on a music. Oh, I like this one. This is a fun music. Okay. We're complete for now. 5. You can go back to it later. It gets exciting because you're like, oh my God, I have more. Well, you get the ball rolling and then you realize, okay. So each one of these is a meditation. You want to sit with it and you want to put your hands on your heart. One hand on your belly is nice because it anchors it, grounds it down into the lower chakras, and then you're going to feel and see it. So that's what we're going to do right now. This meditation that we'll do is going to be predominantly, just pick one. We're just going to pick one right now, but you can go back, rewatch this, and then just do it over and over. If you can remember what we did, you could just do it on your own, but basically do it for each one and do it every time and do it every day. Like, why not? Like, why would you just be like, oh, I did that once? I mean, keep doing it, because the more you do it, what you're doing is you're strengthening the neural synapses, the neural network of the belief and the feeling and the energy within your mind that's like, that's already done, that's happened already. And then the more you see it, the more you feel it, it has to come, because your whole chemistry and your biochemistry is all like, it's already done. So then you're like living that life. So let's go with it. Pick one. It's hard to pick one. Ah! Who here thinks it's hard to pick one? It's like, shoot, I like them all. Can we do them all? Well, what you can do, here's another option. If you feel like picking one feels like hard, you could just feel the feeling of it all worked out feeling. And that's another way to go kind of like broader and less specific. But I like to go specific because being specific is nice too. It does tell the universe exactly. It's like writing an order when you're going out to dinner. You're like, yeah, I want the kale salad, but no croutons. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just be like, whatever comes is great. Because I won't be stoked on anything that you bring. I'm going to be stoked on my kale salad with the no croutons with the dressing on the side because that's the way I like it. You see what I mean? But if you order properly, you're going to get what you like. And that's important. Okay, let's do it. I have 2 bowls here. Now you're going to hear the difference. Now this one, this is called a chalice because of the way you hold it like that. This is a specific chalice that's tuned to the frequency of abundance. So I got this like for the abundance meditations. So if you have one of the items on your list that's about abundance, prosperity, or anything to do with money, this is a good one to do it too. So we're gonna just take a deep breath. Hold the breath. And exhale. Do that 5 times together. Inhale. Hold the breath at the top. Feel the expansive warmth that comes into you as you hold the breath. And exhale. Now this next time, when you hold the breath, pull in and up on Mula Bandha. So pulling in up on Mula Bandha is activating your root chakra. And then the other thing, you want to put your tongue in the roof of the mouth, like that. So inhale. And exhale. Okay, we're gonna do 2 more times. Now this time, when you pull in and up on Mula Bandha, pulse it. So see if you can squeeze it and release, squeeze and release, squeeze and release. So that activates your kundalini and it helps it to move higher. And let's do that together. We're gonna do the same thing with the tongue in the roof of the mouth. Nice deep breath, hold it on the top of the inhale. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, our last one. Now you can do any of those that I just explained, whichever one you felt really activated you the most, go with it. If it's the pulsing, if it's the holding, if it's whatever, just choose one. And then we're gonna do the last one just like that. Inhale. And exhale. Now, you're gonna hold, now that you've activated your energy, leave a comment if you feel like that activated your energy. If you feel your field is more open, you might feel more heat. The purpose of that, that's why I wanted to share, it's the purpose of that. Okay, so now you want to pick whichever one you're going to visualize. You're going to bring it into your third eye. You're going to close your eyes and first just start by looking into the back of the mind screen. It's almost like you're at a movie and you're like waiting for the movie to start. And the beginning of the movie, you got the credits, you got dun dun dun. Everything's going to start now. And the movie is your life. And you are the main character and you are the star of this amazing blockbuster hit. And we want to see your story in the back of the mind screen instead of somebody else's story. So whatever the one from the list that you're choosing to focus on for now, first just See if you can see even a glimpse of light in the back of your mind screen. Like, do you see light there? Is there, if you stay focused with both eyes centered at the back of the third eye, the back of the center of the forehead, between the eyebrows, if you stay focused with that, if it's too difficult to do it with the eyes closed, you can do it with the eyes slightly, a little tiny bit open, and see if that helps. But either way, you're focusing at a point that's in between the third eye. For me, it's way easier with the eyes closed. And then you just start to see if you can bring any visual of a light into the back of the mind screen. It could be like just some colors, red. Some people see black. Some people might see different colors. So just see, do I see any colors? Do I see anything? And observe it. Don't judge it. Don't try to make it into something if it's not. And then once you strengthen this practice, which is just looking to a centered point and seeing if you can see light, this is the first step of strengthening your ability to visualize. And the second step, if you're ready to go to the second step, first step, if you stay there if you need to. You don't have to go to the second step if you're not ready. But the second step, if you're able to see the light, don't even try to be like, oh, I see this guy and this house. You could, if you have this more advanced skills, you can go there. But instead, just see if you can anchor a feeling into your body of joy, of absolute celebration, of the feeling of it all worked out, the feeling of beyond your wildest dreams. And the way to get there usually is map on a memory of when you had something did work out, and it worked out so great, and it worked out beyond your wildest dreams, and you feel that in your heart, and you're like, yes, that's happening now with this other thing. I can feel it. Because it happened with that, I have the experience to draw upon. I can bring that old feeling from the last time it worked out beyond my wildest dreams, and I'm going to bring that into this moment, into this new vision for my future, for my now, and I can feel it. It doesn't have to be crystal clear vision in my mind. I don't have to see what all the details. Literally just the feeling is enough, and just feeling like, yes, I deserve it to work out beyond my wildest dreams. I deserve because I am. And there's nothing else needed for me to deserve that. I deserve purely because I exist. I deserve all of my wildest dreams purely because I exist. Because I'm born into this body, because I live on this planet, because I'm part of the human family, because I'm an extension of God, divine light, source energy. So I deserve only the best, always. And I deserve all of my dreams to come true, beyond my wildest dreams. And I deserve this dream that I have written down today. And I'm not going to be too concerned about the way that it looks. What's going to be the important part of it is how does it feel? Because the universe will take care of the details of the way that it looks as soon as you can feel what it is that you desire to feel. And what is that feeling? That feeling is joy. That feeling is release of desire because you have it already. When you have something, you no longer need to continuously desire it. You already have it. When you are celebrating it, every day, you celebrate it through the feeling of gratitude. You look around and you're like, yes, thank you, God, for this. Thank you for this life. Thank you for fulfilling all of my needs and desires always in the most miraculous and beautiful ways. Thank you for always over-delivering on me and always showing up exactly as needed in every moment along the journey. Even when it's difficult, I can experience that moment as well as a blessing on the road to clearing any blocks that are preventing me from being fully in alignment to be able to receive this magnificent dream that I've been calling in. And now, as I release all those old programs, all those old energies that were blocking the flow, and I just allow and embrace and celebrate the manifestation of all that I deserve coming to me with ease and grace. Absolute divine and perfect order, divine and perfect timing. I trust the universe completely. Take a deep breath and exhale. And as you exhale, feel the sense of relief. Relax, knowing you don't have to do anything more. You are enough. And being enough and being ready and being open and being receptive is all that's needed for you to open your arms. So take your hands and place them face up in front of you and just tell the universe right here and right now, I'm ready. Thank you. I'm so grateful. I am continuously in a state of readiness, and I am continuously in a state of allowing, and I am continuously in a state of gratitude for all my beautiful dreams and desires to flow to me easily, effortlessly, and continuously. None of it's even a big deal because it's constant. I'm constantly being blessed. So it's not even a big deal. I don't make a big deal about it because it's always blessings coming to me. But I celebrate all of these blessings. The tiny ones, just like the one like I woke up this morning, that blessing. I took a breath, that blessing, that nice shower, I took a blessing. I celebrate the little blessings. I celebrate the big ones equally, knowing that it's all the same on the journey to the fulfillment of my divine purpose and the creation of my unbelievable blockbuster hit of a movie that is my life. Thank you, God. I'm so grateful, so blessed. Thank you for filling all of my dreams beyond my wildest dreams. Thank you for over-delivering every time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll just end this meditation with 1 minute of thank you mantra, which I feel when I did this at the United Nations for International Day of Happiness, it really did spark an understanding of how deeply important it is. The simplicity of this cannot be understated because it's literally the most powerful meditation is thank you. So just going into that in your mind, you can say it out loud, thank you, with a big smile, thank you. You can have your hands over your heart, thank you, thank you, thank you. Or you can have your palms up in receiver position, thank you, 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 thank you. Really feel it when you say it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then coming back, take a deep breath. Sigh it out. And so it is, and so it is, and woo! Who felt that? Leave a comment if you felt that, and also if you saw anything, because when you're starting out cultivating your visualization skills, in the beginning I don't try to put too much pressure on it, like now you're gonna visualize this and that, because most people just seeing a light is like step one. But like after a while, and we can do more of these in our lives each week if you guys want, you can let me know. More like visualizations, because the more you do it, the better you get at it, and then you'll be able to visualize specific things like, oh, and then it looked like this. You know, that's one thing that I learned as a young person, and it helped me so much in my whole life. Let's see. Floor says, yes, that would be nice to do. Okay, great. Ada says, tears of joy and gratitude were shed. Oh, I love you, and I'm so happy you're with us, Ada. My goodness, I've been watching Ada's journey now. She has been traveling a little bit. She moved to Mexico. I don't know if you're still in Mexico. Are you still in Mexico? I wonder, because I was like gonna come down there. I was like, hey, I'll come to Mexico and see you. Ada graduated actually, I think, yeah, already. But anyway, she's amazing because she's coming back, and I hope that she comes to our leadership training because that would be amazing. And then she can lead the yoga teacher training retreats with us. I'm in Miami Beach now. No right. Well, you gotta come say hi. My goodness, you gotta see the puppies. By the way, you guys, before we end today, I'm going to show you the puppies because you gotta see them again. Okay, hold on. Let me show you. At least one little fluffy. I woke him up. You guys, look at this guy. Hi, how you doing? He was sleeping. Look, this is the one I think I'm gonna keep. He's like so ridiculous, right? Like, look at him. Hey guys, I'm gonna name him Zohar. If anybody knows what Zohar means, it means the light of God. And then his nickname is gonna be Little Zoe. But look at this guy. He's like ridiculous and he's so loving and amazing. Anyway, Ada, you gotta come meet the puppies. They're only gonna be here a couple more weeks. Anyway, I love you guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this meditation and this ceremony today. And continue on. Little Fluffy. Hi guys. Look how small he is. He's only 1 pound. I weighed him the other day. It's like 1.1. Anyway, what am I trying to say? Let's see. Oh, continue with the ceremony if you want. Write down the rest of your list. If you only did 5, you might have more than 5. And then today, since the moon is still full, definitely go and meditate on the rest of your list. My little papa, look at him. He's such a little lover. Isn't he a lover? He's so cool. Watch this. He whenever I hold him like this, he always hugs me. He's like, I had a huggy and the yawnies because he was sleeping and I woke him up. Let's see. He's your baby for sure, isn't he? I mean, he's so cool. That was wonderful. Thank you very much. Emotional over here. Oh, I love you. I'm so happy you all were here. And please join us every week. I always love to have you, and it's such a special experience for everybody. And like I said, the more you connect with each other, you can connect in the app as well. And anybody coming to Bali, connect in the WhatsApp group. But I just really want to encourage you all to connect with each other and really make this a meaningful community for you and know that you have this community to connect to and to plug into, and the support and the love that we have for you is beyond these Zooms, and that we're here for you, you know. And anybody who wants to come to the leadership training with us in Bali in January, we'd love to have you. Or if you have any friends that might like to have a transformational, life-changing retreat in Bali, think about that. You can earn some commission for referring. Look how loving he is. He's just so cool. Oh my God. You are amazing. Little amazing puppy. Oh my goodness. Look how he's hugging my arm. Okay, anyway, I love you guys. I have an amazing meeting today with Dynamic. I can't wait to share more about that next week. But until then, have a beautiful, blessed day. I'm sending you so much love and many blessings. And I'll see you next Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern.